Welcome to my interview segment of for my radio show today. I'm Hutch from the radio show Hutch at Lyon College. See how that all fits together there. And today I'm interviewing Mr. Brandon Koch from he's a sophomore at Central Methodist University in Fayette, Missouri, correct? And I know this assignment said get somebody from the Batesville area, but I'm not going to Batesville to find somebody to interview.
So you went to Missouri?
Yeah, so I'm all the way in Missouri right now, yes. Now I'm in the booming town of Evening Shade, Arkansas, where Brandon is also from. We're childhood friends and lovers. And anyway. So Brandon, you play basketball up at CMU?
I do.
Or allegedly. You redshirt up at CMU. Let me ask you this first. How does it feel to be a college basketball player? Like, no matter how much you play, but like when you go out there and you guys get to run out of the tunnel or whatever y'all have up there, you get to run out on how does it feel to be a college basketball player?
It's a real neat feeling. Like, I played basketball throughout high school, and so
I know.
I had it's basically just kind of the same feeling. Just if you love the game of basketball, the other stuff just doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how would you describe, like, because this is what people don't see is like the hours of practice that go into it, the hours of running that I couldn't handle. That's why I'm not interviewing myself. Yeah, like, how would you describe that? Just
Honestly,
everything everybody doesn't see.
It can get rough, especially on nights where, like, you have 3 or 4 assignments backed up, and you still got to go to practice from 4:30 to 7.
Yeah, well, it is like a full-time job, and
basically,
having school on top of it. So how did you find? I mean, I already know the answer to this, but how did you find CMU, Central Methodist?
Well, my mom and dad both went to school there, so I knew the coach. The coach that's coaching there now is the coach that was coaching there when my dad went. So I would go to, like, mom's reunions or when they'd have, because my dad's team made it into the school's Hall of Fame. So whenever they'd have, like, ceremonies to remember that team, I'd go and I'd represent my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked with Coach, and he watched some of my film and stuff like that, and just it was one of the schools that offered me, and I chose that one. Because one of my big things was I wanted to go out of state and be away from home.
Fair enough, yeah. And how would you, like, what's your opinion on, like, NAIA basketball? Because I know we've talked about this before, and, like, it's not, like, do you think it's more of a good NAIA funneling system into the NCAA, or, you know, is it, can you make a career out of it in sports, or
This has been and will be my opinion. NAIA is just a way less paid D2. It's all the same talent. Most of our players are from D2. A lot of our players are D1 commits that were just not smart enough or got into trouble, so they couldn't stay at D1. So we're basically just like this cesspool of talent that just couldn't really make it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, so do you think of any of your teammates, like, would they have a chance to go pro or go, like, at least
I have so many. We have
international?
at least 2 or 3 people on my team every year. Like, my buddy J-Rob, he's, like, has options. He thinks he's done with basketball right now, but he has, like, 2 or 3 teams looking for him overseas and stuff. I have a teammate this year. His name is Rain Hartman from South Africa. He's 6'11" and a big man, and he's got so many teams offering him, and he still has another year to play.
Awesome. Well, let's see. And, well, I think why they don't get as much funding a lot of the times too is a lot of these schools are private too, and they're like Lyon, for example, so they're not going to get that state funding.
Another big thing is,
regardless.
like, it's NAI. It's not NCAA. Just that big name is a big thing too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but we were watching the other night on The Last Dance, which we'll talk about in a second. Kind of. Like, I mean, Scottie Pippen used to play in the NAIA. Dennis Rodman was on an NAIA team, you know. So, I mean, obviously, they've kind of grown farther apart.
Well, there was a guy in our conference. He played on the Memphis Grizzlies summer league team with John Morant last summer. He was the NAIA Player of the Year, yeah.
But I think you're seeing that, like, less and less because you used to have more NAIA schools. I don't know. It just used to be a bigger farm. They used to not be as separated.
Yeah.
So obviously you love the game of basketball. What's your kind of life experience with basketball? If I'm not just asking you for
It's just like I've always been around basketball. It's like my dad played, my mom played, all my aunts and uncles played. It was always fun. Like my dad, when I was little, would always take me to the gyms and stuff, and I was just constantly playing.
So you have created a real passion, kind of love for it, even over women.
I don't know. Some women.
That's what I get.
I'll say some women. A lot of women. No.
I get I bring the tough questions. So you played basketball in high school, which I guess we'll talk about that now, at Cave City High School.
Yes, sir.
And Valley Springs High School.
Yes, sir.
That's in. There is a Valley Springs, Arkansas.
There's a Valley Springs, Arkansas. Yes.
So I guess like how did the kind of moving back and like what did that do for your game? What did it do for your relationships? Because you went to 10th and 11th grade, you were at Valley Springs, right?
Yeah.
Every year before that, except for you were in the Cave City system every year before that, and then after that.
Yeah.
So how did that affect your game? How did that affect
going to Valley Springs was honestly like they were 3A while we were at Cave City being 4A. So that was a big difference because 3A there's a lot fewer guys my size to compete with because like I'm 6'7". There's not a lot of big old boys down there, but also just the level of like skill I was playing with down there at Valley Springs and just the coaching was a lot better. It really developed me as a player. Like nobody was selfish. Everybody could shoot. Everybody could score. Everybody wanted to win, like over anything. It was just a really good program.
So it helped you be more, like, for those of you that don't know, he's 6'7".
Yeah.
Like, it helped you not just be the big guy that runs down to the block and shoots a turnaround hook shot, and that's it, and you have no other skill.
It really, like, I dug in and had a lot more effort because I was running plays. I was coming out doing handoffs, passing around the three-point line, so it upgraded that skill. I could see when the pass was open and stuff, and like it was also just like a big effort thing because I knew I can dominate the boards at this level. Like I think I averaged my sophomore year, like when I got all state, my junior years when I got all state, I got like 7 or 8 boards a game. I'd just go and grab them over people because there's just no way they could compete with me down there.
And yeah, I remember watching you one time when we came into the NEA tournament, and I don't remember who we played, but they had like a 6'10" guy or something, and I saw your eyes get big when we walked in. And if you'd have been there the year before, man, you don't with Connor Vanover, who's at Arkansas now, with all 7'3" of him, I don't know. Who was your best teammate during your high school days?
My best teammate, I'd honestly have to say probably Lawson Jenkins. He was a 6'5". He played the 1, but he was like more of a 3 or so. He could handle the ball well. He could shoot the ball like crazy from like 5 feet out and hit it consistently. He's just really good at moving the ball. He'd always get in trouble because he wouldn't pass it to me when I had a mismatch in the post a lot, and so it's like
it's kind of a common theme.
Like his mom was the girls' coach at Valley, and his dad was like a big played basketball in college and all that stuff. He told me one time that after a game or so, when he wasn't passing it inside, his dad, when they got home, wrote number 33, which is my number, on a piece of paper. He's like, "Hey, you see this? Throw the ball here."
So you try to pin it up on a tree or something.
Yeah.
And you also played with Trent Bell, who's now going to Lions. So that's a very quick shout out there. That
Yeah.
And you played with Cole Taylor, who's at Lions.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, great times.
Yeah.
So that was the most talented teammate you had, correct?
All
right. Who was your best teammate? Like your best?
Oh, that just played. I really enjoyed playing with.
Yeah, that you enjoyed playing with, or
probably another guy from Valley. His name is Landon Williams. He was a point guard. He's just quick as hell and could always like get the ball inside to me and stuff like that. And even like if I'm getting double teamed in the post, he would always just cut just right to where I could get an easy handoff to him and he'd score. And just really easy to play off of him and stuff like that. And since he was so fast and so good off the dribble, he made more opportunities to me because my man would have to come over and help and just give me easy dishes for buckets.
Yeah, I think when you have a team that operates as a unit like that, it's just it's so much better.
It really is.
Coming somewhere else the next year. So what's your college team? What team are you the biggest fan of in college basketball?
Duke.
Yeah. And why is that?
It's just another heritage thing.
White
Like
boy
my
bloods.
family was all Duke fans, so it's like, oh. So I was
Who's your
raised-
favorite Duke player ever? And if
Ever?
you say Grayson Allen, I might have to cut you.
Christian Laettner.
Christian Laettner.
For sure.
Because everybody hates Christian Laettner.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious how much of a dick he was on court. And I did the same shit like that. I'd punch people, throw bows. Fingered a guy in a game one time.
Okay, that's lovely. So, and who's your NBA team?
Celtics.
Once again,
Boston.
with the Blue Bloods. And who's your favorite Celtics player of all time?
Larry Bird.
All right. Yeah. See, it's very racist.
Very, very white.
You get the nice historically white Duke and then historically white Celtics. So, have you watched The Last Dance?
I have not. None of it.
That kind of ruins the whole string of questions there. So how did you feel about the Celtics' chances of winning a chip before we're off? We're on my show's topic.
Okay.
Before the season ended, of course.
Before this season?
No, before this happened.
This whole year. I don't know. I felt like we were going to be another Eastern Conference Finals or semifinals drop off. It's like we had a bunch of really good guys and we were all really dedicated and stuff. It's like we just don't have a superstar. Like,
yeah, I think Kemba can just light up sometimes, but he's definitely not in that first tier of.
No, he's
not even in like the top three.
He's like a B class superstar, but stuff.
And he can he's short, so he can get bullied a lot of the time.
Yes.
And I don't think he has no momentum to ride off of in Boston like Isaiah Thomas did, because Isaiah Thomas is another short guy that can't play defense like that played for the Celtics, but he was just riding off pure momentum the entire year. So what do you think about what's Tatum's prospects? We've been waiting for like 4 years now.
Tatum's gonna be good.
This looks good, but he
is good.
They're being very quiet on Boston right now, and I think it's because of all the stuff that's happened with LA.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever LA has a good team, oh my gosh, we have to go over there just as fast as possible. And the Celtics haven't really had any major issues except their center spot. So I think Tatum's just. He was an all-star. He's quietly becoming just.
Well, he's getting better and better.
We all want him to be.
He came out his rookie year and was just like a 3-point shooter. He could drive to the rim if he needed to, and he was a solid defender. And he was just so good at those three things that he was like one of the top tier rookies of that class. And then he's like developed his game more. Like he did a lot of training with Kobe his first couple years and stuff, so he got more of a like scoring mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Like his handle has gotten better. His mid range has gotten better. He knows when to pull up.
And he seems to be going away from the mid range more too, which just makes everybody more happy.
Yeah.
So you've got kind of the young core of the Celtics. So obviously Tatum and Brown are at the heart of that.
Yeah.
And then Smart's still relatively young.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then kind of Robert Williams is
Williams is
exciting.
very
Tyus is.
Robert Williams, if you actually watch the Celtics and are a fan, he's very exciting. Just to see the highlight plays he does. He blocks shots with his head at the rim. He's a super athletic, super tall guy.
All-time Lord.
All-time Lord, yeah.
And Tyus is pretty good, or he tries really hard. And Grant Williams has gotten some playing time. But if you had, so they've basically got Kemba, Jalen, Gordon Hayward, and Tatum. And Kemba's already getting paid probably a ridiculous amount for the player he is. And Jalen's got the huge extension now. Gordon Hayward has had a pretty rough contract since he's been there. Yeah. But Tatum's going to have to get paid at some point. So unless the cap just spikes, which after this season, it's not going to spike. Who would you get rid of first out of that core to pay Tatum? Because I assume if you're a Celtics fan, you want Tatum above everybody else.
Definitely want Tatum.
So he's not your first one out, but who are you getting rid of first?
Cantor.
Okay, I'm not talking about anybody. I'm talking about of their core four.
The major four?
Yeah. Obviously Cantor.
Honestly, I love Gordon Hayward. Like I liked him when he played for the Jazz. I was so excited when I found out we had him. But like after that injury, he's been so hard to get back. If he had another breakout year, it'd be different. But out of those four,
he was working on it at the very beginning.
He's very well improving and stuff. He's back to catching lobs and taking the ball on fast breaks and stuff. But he's still just not the same player he was in Utah.
So if you can't get rid of, why don't you just rank those players in like order of importance? So Tatum, Jalen,
Brown, Kemba, and Gordon.
Okay, I see. I would probably. I would give Hayward another season and then I would wait. Like if Hayward just comes back and like can put up 25 rebounds, 6 assists or something, I think with his defensive ability, he's probably more useful than Kemba.
Yeah.
And his ability not to get blocked as much. Poor Kemba.
Kemba, he's small, but he still doesn't get blocked.
He can do it. No, I know. I have a lot of respect for Kemba. But so who was your pick to win it all this year?
To win it all this year, I was giving it to the Bucks.
The Bucks. I think they might just. Their only problem is they have no half court offense, and if you can work on because they decided to keep Bledsoe instead of Brogdon.
Yeah. Giannis is just so unstoppable.
He just is. But when you get him in the half court, if he ever gets better at that, it's over.
Yeah.
But who was there? Who was going to meet them in the finals from
Lakers.
the West? The Lakers?
Lakers for sure, yeah.
Just riding off momentum.
Just LeBron and AD combining. And LeBron's actually playing this year. He's not sitting out an injury or something like that, like last year.
Yeah. I don't think
LeBron took a team with absolutely, like, just Kevin Love was the closest thing to other talent he had and took them to the finals.
He did. When he actually goes hard.
And won a game.
And commits.
Won a game against the Warriors with KD, so yeah, no. Him giving him AD, and then also a solid point guard in Rondo, and 2 very good athletic scoring around the rim bigs that can do very well on defense, and Dwight Howard and JaVale. It's not very big of a stretch to say he could take them far.
Yep, I just don't think he had any faith in that team last year.
No one did.
My pick probably would have been the Clippers. But that was 8 months ago, and I keep waiting on them.
Kawhi and Paul George have not shown anything to like get me excited for that team.
They don't have anybody. That nobody's like stepping up because nobody will play more than 2 games in a row.
Yeah,
so.
They don't want to.
And that includes Lou Will, and that includes Harrell, and that includes. Well, I feel like Beverly would do it. Maybe they're making him sit out, but yeah, the rest of them. Anyway, thank you for participating in this interview at my home.
No problem, man.
And petting my dog while you did it, and telling us all about your basketball career. Brandon, any parting words?
No.
Okay. Birds aren't real.
Birds are not
Birds.
real.
Birds are not real.
Birds are cyborgs planted by the government to spy on us.
Okay, Kanye. Thanks, guys.